Okay, game 4 of my ladder up match against MochaMoko. I lost the first one, won games 2 and 3. So I'm in a pretty good position here. I need to win basically 1.5 out of 3. So basically, just the goal is to keep winning games, as it is with most things that you play. Here's the kingdom. We've got Way of the Otter, which turns any card into +2 cards. Arena is some victory points. There's the flag, which may come into play. So your only plus action is hideout. You can trash with loan and hideout. You can draw with bridge. You can do stuff with rebuild, which doesn't look terrible here. It seems a little bit tough to build up an engine. Even something like Gatekeeper doesn't affect that too much. Sort of the question is, do you want to try to get thin, build up something with bridge and hideout and stuff, or do you just want to go straight for the rebuild engine? And the rebuild engine is kind of okay if you, well, man, there's nothing to discard. You kind of want to could open like Silver Flagbearer, and try to get rebuilds early. There's no plus buy either, other than bridge. I mean, other than bridge. Bridge is a very, very strong plus buy. It seems really tough to get that deck to draw, though. You've got to be playing multiple hideouts a turn to play multiple bridges, and you're buying coppers back up and trying to draw with Menagerie, which means you have to alternate play really tightly. I can also believe there's some lurker stuff going on, but not much. And Arena kind of means you're happy to have extra flag bearers in your deck. So I'm going to bite the bullet here and go for the rebuild stuff. Possibly been watching too many Wandering Winder videos. Wandering Winder is one of the top players who makes lots of excellent videos playing their games, and they seem to be a big fan of the rebuild strategy. So with 5, I just click rebuild here and feel okay about it. I'm not sure if Mocha didn't think I would open rebuild, or didn't think I would open Flagbearer, or was trying to decide if me opening Flagbearer means I'm going to go for rebuild stuff. Yeah, unfortunately, I have to let them keep the flag for a turn, but this next turn I can consider buying it back. But actually, I hit 5 again, which is probably the most likely thing. We'll see what they buy here. With 7, I think buying a rebuild is nice if they want to go for the rebuild stuff. They're not going to hit 5 next turn. But I don't really want to buy the flag back. So they went bridge. So they're not going for rebuild stuff. And I'm going to be okay with that. So I've got 5 again. This is a little bit weird. I can try to buy a flag bearer. I don't think I'm supposed to buy duchies here. At this point of the game, the 3rd rebuild feels early though. Arena means I could buy like a silver and gain. Oh no, I'm thinking the one where you underpay by 2. Arena means I'm happy to have more flag bearers. So I think I will buy another flag bearer here. The worst case draw for me is 2 copper, is rebuild 3 estates, which is pretty unlikely. In which case I just pass turn, pretty much. I mean, I play a rebuild as an otter, but I pretty much am passing turn. Let me go ahead and get the flag back. Here I'm going to play the rebuild to turn the state into a duchy. They clicked something weird. I'm going to play the rebuild to turn the state into a duchy. And consider, I'm going to name province. Gain a duchy. So I can draw with this. There's a rebuild down there. I don't want to draw it dead. I could... so I could discard it for 2 and buy another flag. I guess having the random flags in your deck hurts my deck more than them because they have hideouts, and the hideouts they can trash the flags, but that seems really slow. Seems really slow. I think I'm going to buy another rebuild. Not super sure if that's the right play. First time I'm going to name province just to see the first one. And then now I will name province again to see the other one. Gain a province and actions, discard for 2 BP. End turn. So now I can consider sort of next steps. I think this 3 will be a silver. My days of hitting 5 are numbered. Name province. And with 3, I will buy a silver. This is nice. I have 5, and I'm going to hit arena as well. Their deck is certainly going to have more arena points than me. Normally, I would expect to be ahead by more points in a rebuild game, unmirrored. Unmirrored meaning they're not playing rebuild as well. But really, they only have 3 plus 4. And now 5 plus 4 plus 1. Wow, their deck really did stuff that turn. I am impressed that turn 8 their deck is able to function that well. I'm really impressed with that. Since I already have 3 rebuilds here on my turn, I'm going to buy a duchy. I'm kind of shocked that their deck worked that well that turn. They must have not hit almost any coppers. Oops, I did the same thing they did. Certainly I'm going to take the 2 free points and buy a duchy. So here I'll play this rebuild, naming province, and that will cycle my whole deck, unfortunately, but that's okay. I think with unmirrored rebuilds, they're not playing rebuilds, so I think the idea is milling provinces faster, but I don't. So in that case, I could name nothing, but so I could name a curse and then mill a province into a province. Play the, discard the flag bearer for 2 points, buy nothing. Or I could turn it, knowing that I have 2 rebuilds down there. I think I'm going to do that. Hopefully not skip both my rebuilds. Yep, so that was intentional. And for 2, buy nothing. Because I knew I had 2 more rebuilds coming in the deck. And so likely, naming province, I would skip. There's a 3rd chance of skipping 0, a 3rd chance of skipping 1, a 3rd chance of skipping 2. And if I skip province and go for the duchy, I'm losing them all. So that worked out really nicely. I'm going to be able to add 6 VP this turn. Turn 2 duchies into provinces. Buy a silver, I guess. Their deck is humming along. They've got a lot of hideouts. They played their menagerie as their first action, it looks like, and they had the 2 flag bearers, which is a thing. They really need to be they really need to be hiding out these. What's the verb? Hideouting. Trashing these flag bearers. As like this. That was a very uninspiring turn, unfortunately. That, play rebuild, name province again. In that, gain a silver. Okay. There are 3 duchies in the trash, so I have the duchy in hand, so I can't actually gain VP this turn, but I can mill a province, so I can trash a province and gain a province. And that means there's less VP left for them to get. And I have 3 provinces in there and 2 rebuilds, so likely I'm only going to skip 1 of my rebuilds at most. 60% chance of skipping 0. And then I've got the game pretty well in hand. They really need more bridges if they're going to catch up. They need to gain more bridges and be able to do more in their turn. They bought a province, which that seems dubious to me. I'm going to name Curse. The top card of my deck was a province, so that's really nice. So do I want to buy an estate here? already. I think the game ends if I play my next 2 rebuilds and hit provinces. So in that sense, I will not buy anything. That seems really... I can always name copper. I can always name... Okay, so this is complicated. I'll sit back in the chair and think a little bit. If I play a rebuild next turn or the next 2 turns, so for them to win, they need to get 2 provinces. Right now, they need to get 2 provinces and a duchy, which doesn't seem possible on 1 turn. I'm going to see my rebuilds next turn. I can always name a state, and once I name a state, I turn a duchy into a province. Or if I don't buy an estate, I can guarantee turning a duchy into a province. If I hit a state, if I name a state, I could turn a duchy into province. If I name duchy, so if I name province, then I can mill a province. That's 6 less VP they have, which means they have to get 2 more duchies, which is quite tough for them to do with their deck, and I don't think their deck can support it that well. But on the off chance that they have a big turn next turn, and they pretty much can't take a province. The math here seems really close. I will let them know that I'm thinking about it. So I have 2 rebuilds down there and 13 cards. So the question is how big their next turn is. Last turn they were able to buy a 2-cost bridge and a 6-cost province. So they had 8 money essentially. And this turn, they could have 10 money, 11 money if they play things a little bit differently. And that enables them to, with 3 bridges in play, to double province. But it doesn't let them duchy. So I think I'm going to pass turn. So this is very nice. If they don't win this turn, I can turn that duchy into a province and buy a duchy. And I believe that gains me 6 VP, 33 VP, and with the amount of VP that's in the trash, that's going to be close to 50% VP, if not more. On any given starting game of Dominion, there's 86 victory points total. So to win, basically, without curses in play, you need to get to 43. And we're looking at the trash here, 6, 15, 27. So 86 minus 27 is 59. So to win, I need to get to 29. I guess I should have done that math last turn. That can't be right. Yes, it's 29, but we each have 6 extra victory points. So I need to get to 35. So actually, it's not going to be 50% VP, but for them to get to 15% VP, they're going to have to buy like 8 estates, which seems quite unlikely. And I have a rebuild down in these bottom 8 cards, which I'm not actually going to get to. So name, province, to trash the duchy. I skipped 1 rebuild there, so I do have a rebuild in the bottom half of the deck. And I can win this turn by just turning a province into province. Unless they somehow score 21 VP, which seems quite unlikely. That would be province, 3 duchies, 6 estates. Yeah, they don't have close to that many buys. So the rebuild strategy worked. They pulled their engine together quite quickly, I think. The problem is just the hideouts. You have to keep feeding them stuff in the trash. Rebuild, then curse, buy a province, buy an estate. Yeah, so that's rebuild. That's 34 VP in 14 turns against a pretty decent engine build. I think if they had two or 3 more turns, they could have caught up there. But rebuild's a fun card, and I always feel difficult about going for that strategy because that is a tough strategy to pull off correctly. And if it goes wrong, you just feel real dumb. But luckily that time it worked out. See you in Game 5.